Yeah. Yeah. Can you believe they told me that I would never make it? Now we smiling in their faces, smiling in their faces.
There have been various runs made at Kobe in the service of trying to elevate LeBron James. But I couldn't believe my eyes or ears when I saw a post that indicated Max Kellerman, podcast partner of Rich Paul, put Dwayne Wade on Kobe's level, suggesting the only thing about Kobe that made him better is that he was 2 inches taller.
So when we got the news that Max Kellerman will be joining Rich Paul and starting a podcast, I think we all were scratching our heads as to say, what the hell is going on? Because those two are an odd couple for sure. But for today's video, something came across my timeline and I really had to cover this. So apparently Max Kellerman uttered some disgusting, ridiculous, not factual at all, a statement. This man had the audacity to look us dead in the eye, well, at least via screen, and said that the difference between Kobe and Dwayne Wade is just that Dwayne Wade was 2 inches shorter.
I knew you was lying, man.
Meaning if Dwayne Wade just had 2 more inches, he's basically Kobe Bryant. I don't think people are really truly believing what they're saying. And I think Max was a guy who really used to be that way. But now when you sit across from a guy named Rich Paul, you kind of have to lie and you kind of have to say what you've been told to say, because you're no longer independent once you kind of work with a team like that. As we know, we've seen plenty of people like Nick Wright and Shannon Sharp change their stances on Kobe and many other players, including Michael Jordan. So what I'm going to do for you guys is this. I'm going to run the clip of Ric Bucher calling out Max Kellerman and a lot of other analysts for lying and continuing to lie just to push ratings. Let's get into this. You know what Clutch Sports does. So if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe, but stay tuned because I actually have a lot of information that I want to get into that I think you guys will feel, at least to me, is valuable to this whole case and to this whole argument regarding Kobe's legacy and a lot of things that's going on. So if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe. Let's get into the video.
Certain level of attention. There have been various runs made at Kobe in the service of trying to elevate LeBron James. But I couldn't believe my eyes or ears when I saw a post that indicated Max Kellerman, podcast partner of Rich Paul, put Dwayne Wade on Kobe's level, suggesting the only thing about Kobe that made him better is that he was 2 inches taller. Now, I've always thought of Max as a boxing expert who did an admirable job of doing his homework and research to offer compelling and reasonable perspectives in other sports and topics. I was surprised he lasted as long as he did partnered with Stephen A, because Max is earnest. He genuinely believes in everything he argues. And Stephen A, I well know, does not. It's for show. I've been in the business to know when someone has manufactured a take that is plausible and sounds good, but isn't one that they'd go out of their way to make if it wasn't their job to spar about it on TV. Their head is in it, but not their heart. Which is why this suggestion that if Dwayne Wade were 2 inches taller, he would have been equal or better than Kobe is so mind-boggling. The letters WTF just kept scrolling through my head and still do when I think about it. First of all, the premise that if someone were built different than they were, they'd be something better is just goofy and specious. Word of the day, kids. It means superficially plausible, but actually wrong. In other words, it sounds good, but it actually isn't. If Kevin Garnett had Tim Duncan's core strength, he might have been good or better than TD, but he didn't. So his 32-inch waist made it easier to move him off the block or keep him off of it, thereby forcing him to live by mid-range jumpers far more than Duncan, who could kill you from the mid-range, but also anchor his butt on the block and bully you around the basket. Or if, say, Donovan Mitchell were 2 inches taller than his 6'2", he'd be as good or better than Dwayne Wade. I could do this all day. Basic rule, when anyone employs the word if to create a topic, it's probably all smoke and pixie dust. In other words, not a whole lot of lasting value. I don't generally use stats to make a point, but there's one that jumped out at me about this that captures a larger point, that being Kobe was simply a more complete player, particularly offensively, than Wade. And here it is. Kobe had 21 triple doubles in his career. Dwayne Wade had 5. Now, I do like individual awards as a better measuring stick, so let's throw one of those out there as well. Kobe was named All Defense 12 times, 9 times to the first team. Wade got that recognition 3 times, all second team selections. If you think height was the only reason Kobe was a better defender, you have no understanding of what playing defense in basketball or the NBA consists of. Jason Kidd was 6'4", just like Wade. He was all defense 9 times. What are we talking about? What pains me is that fully exposing just how off-base such arguments are is usually very challenging without sitting down and rolling several hours of tape, or maybe hundreds of hours. The hundreds of hours that I watched both Kobe and Wade play. The hundreds of hours that capture the moments in games when a play had to be made, offensively or defensively. And one guy found a way to make the play over and over again, and the other guy sometimes did. It's an accumulated history that is impossible to impart on a talk show or a podcast, and I fear that that's where a lot of fans today get their information or their impressions of what happened.
Man, listen, Ric Bucher annihilated Max Kellerman. But I want to mention something else, man, because I'm tired of people that never seen people play or ever, went across and did homework or watched series and stuff like that. Just utter some nonsense, like some straight bullshit. So what I want to do is share on the screen, as you can see right now, field goal percentage from the 2000s. And I found, to me, the best scorers in the 2000s. And I didn't include like Carmelo and LeBron James and stuff, because they came in towards the mid 03, 04, 04, 05, the kind of mid 2000s. So look, Ray Allen shot 45% from the field. Paul Pierce shot 44.5%, Vince Carter 43.5%, Trace McGrady 43.5%, and Kobe Bryant 44.7%. What does this tell me? Exactly what this stat tells me is this. Elite scoring, it was different because elite scoring became volume shooting, right? And like it says right there, during the high defense era, shooting percentages reflected high volume scoring roles, meaning you had to shoot a lot of times in order to keep your team afloat. And not only that, but during this era, you took harder shots because the defense could key in on you, be more physical, put hands on you. And in order for you to score, you had to take tougher shots because sometimes late in the shot clock, you got to get something up. It's a different era. Now, it's not the same. It's not even a close game. But aside from this to show you that this is the kind of the field goal percentage of all these players, their whole careers, that played in the dead ball era. As you can see, Kobe Bryant's field goal percentage is close to 45%, which is close to Ray Allen. What can you say about many other players right now? Kevin Durant, LeBron James, a lot of players that shoot better, like from the field, than Ray Allen. Does that mean LeBron shoots better than Ray Allen, or is it because LeBron takes closer shots that's more efficient and plays in a different era? I would include more players, but like I said, they didn't play most of their careers in this era. But another thing I want to mention is that Ric Bucher said something that was interesting. He said many people, including Dwayne Wade, said Paul Gasol should have been the Game 7 of the 2010 NBA Finals. A lot of people, not a lot of people really, but just Dwayne Wade was saying that Paul Gasol should have been the Finals MVP. So Ric Bucher has a point where he said, if you weren't there to watch the game, then you should have no words to say and utter that Paul Gasol was the best player. Because if you look at the stat sheet, I think he had 19 points, he had a good field goal percentage, and you're like, oh, he's the best player on the floor. But then Ric's like, I was at the game. Kobe was getting double teamed every play and had to make a read from it. So he only had two turnovers too. And as he was making reads and as he was doing that, he still had the most rebounds out of everybody on the floor. And he said on defense, since the Celtics were trying to double him and get his hands off the ball, he said he's seen Kobe hunched over, breathing out of his mouth, so tired because he switched everything. He rotated. He was playing defense. He literally left it all on the line. And he knew, listen, if I can't score like a 40-point game, like a vintage Kobe game, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play defense. I'm going to rebound. And most importantly, I'm going to win the game, because every game in that series from that 2010 NBA Finals, the team who had the most rebounds won the game. Kobe knew that. I believe he had like close to 20, if not 19 rebounds that game. These are the things that people that are not watching will never understand. And what they'll do is they'll continue to bring up field goal percentage. They'll continue to minimize people's like Kobe's efforts, because they've watched LeBron play, or analysts on TV say, well, efficiency matters now. Well, in the 2000s, I've never heard anybody tell me efficiency isn't so important. It was about winning games. Whether you shot 45% or 55%, did you win the game? Did you affect your teammates on the floor? And how did you defend? How did you impact the game? These are the things. How did you rebound? Rebounding was a big thing then. The problem I have is that Rick is right. Most people who become basketball fans now become stat sheet fanatics. And stat sheets are a great way to understand things, a great way to look at things, but they don't tell the full story. Now, if you're from a different time, like maybe me or somebody who's even older than me, then you would understand that. But if you're new, and if you're just watching these clowns speak about how basketball is, or thinking these people are really like diehard analysts, and they're not just people who have an interest that they need to continue to appease and to praise people and to let other people down in order to big someone up, then you're never going to understand it. But these are my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new to the channel, I hope you enjoy this video. I just want to say one last time, Dwayne Wade is not close to Kobe Bryant. There's stratospheres apart. It's Jordan, and there's a long distance, and there's Kobe. But then once Kobe goes, there's a long miles and miles and miles and miles and miles before somebody is as good as Kobe. People continue to disrespect his legacy. As you know, there is political things that go on in sports media, and as you can see, we're just witnessing it right now, and we're going to continue to witness it. So you're going to continue to see more videos from me. So if you want to hear more videos and you enjoy my channel, please hit that subscribe, and I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Peace.